This is Sean Morgan with the Patriot Freedom Project. I'm here with Lynn Nestor, a J6 defendant. And I'm assuming you have been pardoned by President Trump?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. Well, tell me about what happened on January 6th and the legal case that came after that.
I went to January 6th from Pennsylvania in a 15-passenger van. 6 of us that were arrested. The 6 that went inside were all arrested, although our charges were very inconsistent. Some of us got felonies. I was fortunate enough to only get 4 misdemeanors, and I wasn't arrested until 17 months afterwards. And they came for me like they came for a high-level criminal, right? 17 months later, 8 FBI shows up, rolls up in the driveway, 6:30 in the morning, guns drawn. It's just ridiculous. I expected it because that's what had happened to others, but I thought it was really unnecessary. So I immediately invoked my rights. They didn't get an opportunity to ask me any questions, really. I wasn't having any of it. They said they had a warrant for my phone. I never saw it. Held me for a few hours. Released me, no bond, no nothing, personal recognizance. Stayed on probation for about a year until I finally got to trial. Had Trump's judge, and with the immunity case, that cleared my judge's schedule, which moved my trial up 6 months. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have got to prison before the pardons. But it is what it is. Of course, I didn't take a plea deal. They offered me picketing, parading, and demonstrating, which is the one thing I definitely did not do. I went January 6th with no political clothing, no signs, and I was inside for 10 minutes. I never said a word. I walked through the door, realized we didn't have the whole group with us, never went more than 100 feet from the door looking for part of our party, and then we left. So I didn't picket, I didn't parade, I didn't demonstrate inside the building. That charge is specific to inside. So went to trial. Judge was a little upset because she just got overruled by the Supreme Court on the immunity for Trump. And I said she'll either be humble or she'll be mad, and she was mad, obviously. I get a 2-point enhancement because I contacted U.S. Law Shield to find out what kind of I'm open carry, in Pennsylvania is an open carry state. I have a concealed carry. So I have my weapon with me always. So I called to find out what the rules for D.C. were. And because I made that call, they gave me a 2-point enhancement that I didn't get the 0 criminal history reduction because I inquired about what weapons I could take. I completely complied, and they even admitted trial. There's no evidence that I took any weapons, but I got the enhancement anyhow. And the other enhancement that I got, so it was misdemeanor, so the average there is less than 30 days for a misdemeanor. I ended up with 10 months, which was at the time the 3rd highest misdemeanor sentence when I was sentenced. They said I lied about the reason I was at the Capitol. At the time, we were good friends with the Pennsylvania senator, and he texted us that morning that he was speaking at the Capitol steps between 1 and 3. That's why we went to the Capitol. I didn't hear Trump, never heard a word he said. We were just there waiting for him to speak. And I testified to that on the stand. And at sentencing, the prosecution said that I lied about my reason for being there, even though we have the texts that he invited us to the Capitol to see him speak between 1 and 3. They said I lied about it and that he was not even there. I quickly put together a montage of 17 CCTV cameras that shows that senator there, and the judge would not allow it. She insisted that I lied about going to the Capitol to see him, and so that was another 2-point enhancement, which ran me up to 10 months.
Wow. So how do you see yourself and your future now after the pardons?
I'm fortunate to be in a conservative area. My employer was very supportive of me, so I didn't lose any employment other than the time that I had to take off to research and go to trial in prison and that. The big punishment for me was the lawyer fee. I mean, quite honestly, trying to defend myself against misdemeanor charges, which on the federal level is pretty much unheard of. But if you were present on Jan 6 and they came after you, they were gonna make you do jail time, especially if you didn't play. If you wouldn't admit to whatever they wanted you to admit to, they were gonna hit you hard.
So for some people, politics is just a hobby, and it's experiences like this that make politics very real.
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you have any comment on making sure that something like this can never happen to an American citizen in the future generations?
Yeah. Ideally, yes. I would love to fight to improve our justice system and eliminate government corruption. I am pretty jaded now to the ability for our country to recover to what it was intended to be. I think the best we can do is resist as much as we can for as long as we can. And that's what I encourage people to do. You try as hard as you can, as much as you can. But honestly, I'm not hopeful about the fate of this country.
I think that you're right, that is what we have to do forever, is resist tyranny.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing your story, Lynn.
Yep, thank you for having me.